Don't call the button that.
I just did call the button that. The button can go fuck itself for all I care. Fuck you, button.
The StreamYard record button doesn't appreciate the names that you're calling it, frankly.
That's okay. You know what? I shall call the button a whore bitch button, just like I will call Jensen button. Call him a whore ass button.
Well, he deserves it.
Yeah.
He's been caught on the streets in the wrong parts of London.
Yes, he has.
wearing Elon Musk's short shorts.
Yes.
Showing off his legs because Jensen doesn't skip leg day.
That's right. I'm actually going to give him a call next year when I go back to England and say, hey,
oh, nice.
I need to know places that you went in London so I can take children of 18 and 16 to go see so we can scar them for life, please.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if we'll edit that part out, but anyway.
No, we shouldn't because it's Wendy's kids. We're good. Anyway, shall we get to where do we want to start? Because
you got to start.
Boring.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was boring.
All right. I thought we're having a problem this year because I thought Monaco was okay to decent and you thought it was horrible.
Yes.
And I thought this was pretty good and you said this was boring.
I didn't say it was horrible. I just said it was boring.
There's wheel-to-wheel action and look, the driver of the day, he cut down his tires to give us a good show and you just appreciate nothing of it.
No, I do.
Why is that?
It was boring. It was boring. Look, there was some action and then it kind of tailed off. And then there's a little bit more action, tailed off. And then George Russell had a pneumatic issue. So he was out of the race. So I didn't get to see him score his first, his fucking, getting some points in Formula One for fucking Williams. I don't give a shit that fucking Leclerc came from fucking basically wrecking his tire, coming up and finishing good because, well, he was going to, So, it's all how that works. I mean, I'm not, not every race is going to entice me and go, oh my God, that was great. Even wheel racing, sometimes I'm like,
I'm not saying it was I don't think it was great. I thought it was good. It was, it was a good 3.5 to 4 stars, maybe 3.5.
I just called it boring because it was boring in the parts that I wanted excitement at. I wanted more, it was like based off of like the free practice and, example, the pace that, Ricciardo had in free practice 1 and 2 and 3, especially 3, I was like, oh, this could be great. He's gonna be up there. He's gonna be right sniffing after Lando's ass a little bit, all these things. And no, he fucking sucked. That he dropped in the field and he kind of moved himself up. It was like, wow, that excitement right there wasn't going to happen. The Ferraris, Leclerc took himself, that happens, and I'm surprised they didn't investigate that. Honestly,
he was out there with it. He might as well have had a Spyderco on his front wings, man. He was looking to cut down everybody's. He got Pierre, and then he half got Kimi. There
at turn 4. Yes, and also
he didn't quite get he didn't get the whole end plate, but no. But I appreciate that he was using both ends of the car. He was using his front wing and then he was using his rear tire to get somebody's front wing. So
I think he was really truly hoping that, with the damage to the rear tire of Pierre would have speared off somewhere and kind of took out some more people. It just didn't work out that way for him, but I mean,
well, he did. He got a couple. He didn't take anybody out.
Pierre. What I'm talking about is when Pierre tire, when Pierre Gasly's tire went down, if they got hit, that Pierre speared off. It's like fucking boom, boom, boom. Yeah, but Giovinazzi, who gives a shit? The guy's a fucking mafia Don's son. Gives a fucking crap. You go a racing and then we talk about the business. That's what he's doing right now.
Look, man, Italians have too much pride. Ferrari needs an Italian driver in the system.
They haven't had it.
If we can't have one, then
when was the last Italian-born driver Ferrari has had? And I can't think of one.
No.
I think it's been a very long time.
Not for a
very long time. As I said, the reason why it was boring to me is just because there was so much promise and it didn't appear. I wanted some good battling. Gasly getting knocked out that took away some shit, Then Russell, I was really happy with George. I mean, he was sitting there, he's in good positions and stuff, and then the car just fucking tugged on him, and they retired it. So that kind of ruined that kind of thing. And then again, I'll come back to Ricardo. Like, he had promise, and in the race he kind of dipped, and then he brought it back up, but it was still wasn't that exciting, and then there'll be some people scared like, oh, Lando didn't put up any fight. Well, Lando's not racing, a Red Bull.
No, and that's what they were talking about on the broadcast. They were like, is he going to burn out his tires trying to stay ahead of him instead of just having a nice comfortable gap to Ferrari? And no,
and what race is, and I knew, and you knew, I think most people watching that race is, if anybody sat there and said Lando needs to burn tires up to keep that Red Bull behind him, for what? You know what I mean? Really? No, I was happy with that. But as I said, it just, I watched it. It was fine. I just found it boring in parts because, what was going to be hyped by all the practice and qualifying just didn't happen because people struggled, whatever the hell it was. And then, you had cars go out. You didn't have anything real fun. There was some wheel-to-wheel racing and stuff like that, and it was a predictable finish. But I said it was going to be a predictable finish last podcast. Anyway, I said this is it. I mean, he's going to take this race, and he did.
Handedly.
Max, and honestly, by
15 seconds,
15 seconds,
the last pit stop,
and last year was 13 seconds that Lewis beat everybody by. So if that does not demonstrate the fact that Red Bull is no longer, the fucking, the fucking hunter. They are now the hunted. Nothing else does, because they've got everything going for them. And I think the interesting thing on that, which they discussed in free practice, is, Red Bull has decided, and I think Red Bull always has, so this shouldn't be a secret to people, but Red Bull has always decided on the best compromise between a qualifying car and a track car, a race day car, where they try to balance it out and say, okay, if we qualify great, we qualify great. On the flip side of it, at least the car that we put on the field is going to handle the racetrack under race conditions a little bit better. And that's what they always aim for. But now that package is even better because they actually have the power. They have the straight line speed. They have the aero. They have and also the mechanical grip, because it's not really chewing those tires as much as it did a couple of years ago, to basically have that balance and go, we can out qualify and still have one hell of a race car. Mercedes tends to more gear it up to, more of a race day car. But if they don't qualify well, then you're fucked. So I don't know. Maybe Mercedes will look at that.
I didn't realize it until recently that they were running a physically more narrow wing.
Yes, which pissed off Mercedes. Yes.
Which is funny that they can do. I guess that's what happens when Adrian Newey is your CTO.
Yeah.
And he just and he's just like, well, if we do it this way, then we can get all the aerodynamic efficiency or enough of it, and then we can run, and then we can just be faster in a straight line.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
because
and
we have our wing is efficient enough.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. So now, if we just take it a step back to last year, Red Bulls were dominant's the wrong word, but you could see last year that car was coming along really well. And that should have been a real hint to what Red Bull's future is, where they're going, what they're striving to become again. Yes, having the Honda power plant was a effing gamble. Let's be honest. It was a gamble, because when Honda came back and they were with McLaren, McLaren's just difficult to work with, period. That engine was not that reliable. It was kind of like a bear, etc. And Red Bull said, well, screw it. Stick it in the Toro Rosso, because that's who it was at the time. See what it does for a season. And it did. It worked fine. They stuck it in there, and they had some gremlins because Max would bitch. But those things happen. But now that engine is really up there. It's producing power. I think at times it outperforms the Mercedes engine. And it's just what it is. So all those clues were there. Yes, this is a different package. Yes, there was different regulations, reduced downforce and everything for this year and only this year, and then next year's completely different car. But the thing is, they kind of solved a lot of those problems last year, and they were looking at what they're doing here, and it's this. Now, is this a one-off, like with the brand new regs, and we're talking full brand new regs next year? Is this like, hey, this is it? We'll try and get Max his world championship and cross our fingers that we do our sums right and do the math right for next year and still be dominant. I mean, who's to know? Because you only know that to next year.
Yeah.
Because this
it would
really
be really cool to just punctuate that, because that's what Mercedes were unable to do on the last changeover, right?
Yes.
They were competitive, but they couldn't beat Vettel and Red Bull.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, as well as they did. I'm sorry, I got to get it off my chest here.
Do it.
We both were terrible on the Italian-born drivers for Ferrari thing.
Oh yes.
Awful.
Oh, so who was the last one?
Giancarlo Fisichella.
Oh fuck shit. Yes. Thank you.
Very briefly, right?
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
And then before that, you had Gianni Morbidelli.
Yep.
And that's as far as I got. But yeah, they do lust. They do want.
Yes,
that.
they do. Yes, they want that.
They're like, oh, Fisichella, and then they were like, well, who was driving for him at the time? Kimi and Fernando.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that was when they had the opportunity. Maybe they had the opportunity to bring in Fernando. He replaced them. So. Right.
I mean, I know, actually, just getting on that.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
When I was at Sebring, I stood up on the main. So one of the main, there's a few spectator areas, but one of the main ones is the hairpin at Sebring. That's kind of like known as the party area, right? And there's the track is totally flat, so there's a bunch of like raised mounds,
right,
that you kind of view it on. And I stood up and watched Fisichella come around the hairpin and gave him 2 middle fingers and followed him all the way through it. Because he completely down in turn 1, he just completely dove it in on can't remember who it was, one of the Porsche drivers. I want to say it was the FAF car. But I can't remember who it was driving, but I was like, he just totally took him out, like I did in the iRacing race I did just before this at the Red Bull ring. Coming into T3, dude totally misses his braking point. Just there I go.
That is great.
Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to get that off the
I totally forgot about that
off the table. Yeah. So there was a couple at least there, but look, I enjoyed watching Charlie from Monaco go through the field. I thought it was fun. It's easy to see why he won driver of the day. And did you also notice he was taking the really like early entries into the corners?
Yes,
and he was. And he spooked his old teammate Vettel there. He got
that was hilarious.
I think other people saw it and they were like, oh yeah, he's just trying to like get me to slip up. So they just kind of turned into the corner, didn't worry about it, and everything was fine. But Vettel, I think, took a look in the mirror. He's like,
shit.
Just got him to hesitate that little bit. So yeah, I thought it was entertaining as hell.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I found some of it boring, but it's not like it wasn't a horrible race. It wasn't like this god awful nonsense. It was fine. I'm just looking at even before that, when it was free practice. What do you think about the grid penalty that good old Swing Blade got? I mean, what, too harsh?
The white card not do burnout. Good.
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be IMSA. Oh, and we'll get to burnout. We'll get to Max's burnout later.
Oh yeah,
but I didn't even make that connection. Maybe that's why you got the penalty there. But anyway, yeah, that was funny, man. It's always great to see an F1 driver make a mistake, especially at low speed like that. And then the McLaren guys just hop right on it and just push him out. They're like,
and at the same time, they're
this loon almost hit us. Let's get him out of a pit box at least.
I mean, the best part is like honestly, good old Screenplay was probably sitting there going, they told me to push the mustard pedal, mustard. And the radio goes, Valtteri, we're going to give you the biscuit pedal too. I will mustard pedal.
Mustard pedal on right, biscuit pedal on left.
It's, I mean, I don't know if a three spot grid penalty was harsh or not. I mean, it's not like this happens all the time, but you have to look at it as a safety point of view. Is those guys are exposed, but
they have to do something to him because they don't want people to
do it and get away with it.
They don't want them doing the IMSA pit stop and IndyCar pit stop, burnout exits.
Right. So I totally get
because they're anti-entertainment.
Why? But also I kind of look at things and just going, well, do you really want to punish them for grid penalties or do you want to fine and see what that does? But they're sending a message. And plus, it is a whole new thing.
They fines don't do shit. With the fines. That's
the fine doesn't do shit because that's the whole thing. Because that's the thing. But another good point. I think it's
fine, but maybe one or two.
Yeah,
places is better. Maybe they just I guess they just really wanted to send a message.
I think they did. I think they just said we're sending this message right now. But on the flip side of that, the fun thing is, they're looking at, I think the best way to describe it is breathing points or checkpoint, whatever, in a pit stop because, Red Bull is consistent with like almost 1.9, 1.8
sometimes
seconds. And they are, and now they're proposing to try to make the pit stop just a little bit longer for safety reasons.
Nah,
they're
I like it. What are they going to do? Take guys off the.
No, I think they're going to do something like where it's basically like it's basically like a checklist. Like there certain things have to clear. Like is this on, and wait for those little beep 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 bullshit.
Nah. I like it how it is.
Well, I like it how it is, but we're not fucking.
If we're not going to do fueling.
We're not the FIA.
Let's at least get whatever it is, 12 or 14 guys out there, however many, and let's like try to change a set of tires in under 2 seconds. I like that.
I mean, I'm actually trying to find it because they were talking about it in free practice.
No, that stinks. I like it. I like it in the context of something like the Nürburgring 24 hours, because it's about the most mentally taxing race that you could ever imagine to do, having 150 plus cars that are, anywhere from, let's not talk in terms of power to weight for the normies out there, but like really, really slow. I mean, E30 M3s, Opel Mantas, E36 M3s out there with modern GT3 cars and pro drivers.
Hilarious.
You're talking like 8-minute laps, like 8-minute 10 to 8-minute 20 laps with guys that are doing like 11-minute plus laps out there all together. So they stop, and the rule is that they have to stop for, I believe the rule is 30 seconds per lap that they just did since the last pit stop. Right. So standard GT3 run would be 8 laps. You must be stopped for 4 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's good because because it's very, very hard on the drivers, very hard on the cars. So gets all the mechanics to get a good look at the cars, have plenty of time to change tires, and no incentive to not do tires, right? They're not like trying to like stretch tires out on the Nürburgring. They get plenty of them, and they get plenty of time to change them. And then, every drinks bottle gets changed. Everybody's chilling, it's good for something like that. I don't like going in that direction for Formula One. It should be
this fast. Is what it's going. So this is not what they're talking about. This is happening at Hungary. Okay.
What are we doing?
This is it right here. So FIA will introduce new technical directives to force teams to slow down their pit stops as of the Hungarian GP. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. So relating to the pit stops article, blah, 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 states devices which are used to fit or remove wheel fasteners may only be powered by compressed air or nitrogen, or any sensor systems may only act passively. The FIA apparently fears that relying heavily on automated procedures for pit stops creates a degree of danger. So ahead of the Austrian Grand Prix, teams are being informed of the upcoming changes, which will put great emphasis on human side of the pit stop, essentially, to ensure that different phases of pit stops allow for human reaction times, and signaling teams will be forced to build in a tolerance of 0.15 of a second from the wheels being observed to be tight on the jackman, to the jackman being told to return the car to the ground. A 0.2 second tolerance will then be enforced from the jacks being removed to the driver getting the signal to exit their pit box.
So we're talking about tenths of a second?
Yes. So they're trying to add like little breaks in there.
Okay. They just have to they just have to have like some kind of time before they like signal it.
Yeah.
Is this going to affect anything?
Yeah, it's going to affect Red Bull most likely.
A tenth of a second between the time
No. That's what they want to do.
Okay. We'll see.
That's what they want to do.
But speaking of Red Bull and the boys in the pits. Gotta take care of your man Perez, man.
Yeah.
What was with that left rear, man? We should have had 1 and 3. No sling blade on the podium. You don't like him when he drinks champagne.
Nobody likes him when he drinks champagne.
He gets ornery.
Yes. He gets very mustardy. I mean, yeah.
So
it was a mistake by them.
And that was the difference. That was the difference right there.
Yes, it was the difference right there. And it was, and they'll figure it. I mean, maybe they're just trying to remind them that your entire job is to make sure Max wins a championship. I don't know. I mean,
the gun.
Yeah, the gun.
Mate, the gun's done mucked up.
I don't know what's happening.
It won't take the bloody wheel off.
I don't know what happened. It's okay. Just get out there and get fastest lap. Don't worry, Lewis won't pit to get fastest lap.
Right then, there's just there's an automated. It's all on the blockchain. There's an automated smart contract that deposits money from Max's wallet into the left rear gunner's wallet. He's just like, thank you.
That's so true. It's like, there you go, buddy.
And we need, to get those real world events onto the blockchain, we need decentralized Oracle networks like Chainlink. This podcast brought to you by Chainlink. Chainlink.
By Chainlink. I mean,
please pump my Chainlink bags, guys. Please.
Who am I, Vettel? Get the hell away from me.
But anyway, that was a bit of a bummer because that should have been 2 Red Bulls on the podium.
Yes.
Instead, we had ornery Valtteri.
Yes.
Having his campaign with Helmut Marko.
How are you trying to good old Helmut?
What?
Good old Helmut. He's my hero.
Dude, he wins the wet t-shirt contest, man.
Heroes
go up there with white shirts.
That man.
It also didn't help that at one point he was getting double teamed.
Yes.
He was getting bukaki'd out there by Mercedes, by Lewis and Slingblade.
Yes. Because he both went there and go, You ever wonder how big his man boobs are? Time to find out.
Let's get him.
You know, I'm sure like Helmut was up there and just in his back and goes, I picked the wrong day not to wear my sports bra. He's all pissed.
Poor Helmut.
Or he took it off. He took it off.
He's not doing that badly for a man of his age. Poor fella.
No. You know what? I'm pretty sure he's sitting there, Red Bull pit. Hey, you're gonna go up on the podium. He said, construction track. Hold on, I gotta take off my sports bra.
I've got to change my shirt.
Yes, I need to get the translucent white one and no sports bra. I want all the chickadees to see the man boobage that is Helmut.
You gotta remember, the guy was a fantastic racing driver.
Fuck yes, he was.
He's gotta come back and he's gotta let people know somehow that he's still the man.
Yeah, exactly. Quickly, so, make sure Yuki sees this so he understands. I am Alpha.
He doesn't want my phone calls.
I am Alpha, Yuki. I am Alpha. You will smile when you're fishing.
What do you think the recent phone call was? Did you see on an interview? He was like, they were like, have you talked to Helmut Marko? And he's like, I've got to talk to him after this. I got to call him today.
You'll be in a fishing boat with your teammate. You better smile.
Dude, you can't tell Japanese that they'll be in a fishing boat. That's not cool. That's not cool.
Picture's amazing.
I'm gonna get SNL and then they're gonna cancel me just like Matt and Shane.
You're fine.
No, you're right. I'm not getting SNL.
No, you're fine. But no, seriously, it's like that picture. He looked like I got so many other.
Oh, the fishing. That fishing boat. That picture. So there was. So if you
that picture.
There was amazing. There was a picture of Gasly and Sonoda and wearing. What would you call it? They were like plaid shirts and khakis, basically, and little pork pie hats. I don't know what you call that style.
It's almost this half-ass beaknik fishing trip kind of fucking vibe going on.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Like we're in a pond on the English countryside.
Yeah, it's so
fishing
bad.
for I don't even know what you fish out of a pond in England. But it was just funny. He just had a hilarious look on his face. Oh, Yuki. You know what? I've decided that Yuki is like he's like a human embodiment of like Pikachu. He's cute as hell, but he will fight you.
Yes.
He will shock the shit out of you.
Yep.
If you come near him and scare him.
I mean, honestly, it's like he was just not happy.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure that he's sitting
I hope he adopts like this anti like media thing like Kimmy. Like he just becomes a Japanese Kimmy and he's just like I am just here so I don't get fired.
You know, I honestly I would love it. Absolutely love it is he refuses to speak English.
Oh, that would be cool.
And he refuses to answer anybody in Japanese. He's just like, fuck off.
Silent?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, wow.
Just nothing.
Was hoping I would really appreciate the oh my God. Who did I just quote? I'm just here so I don't get fined. The running back from Seattle.
Yeah, I know who you mean. I always forget.
Dang it.
Yeah,
I'm not good at foosball.
Marshawn
Lynch.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would like Yuki to start doing that.
I would like Yuki to be like, okay, I am not going to talk English. I'll only speak in Japanese. But
who is he speaking Japanese? But what's the point of that if he's not? He won't answer. Oh, he just won't answer questions in Japanese.
Yes. No. Better.
Okay.
Better. So literally, he never answers anybody in English unless he's being interviewed. Then he has a translator.
Okay.
And so the translator's sitting there and someone asks a question in English. The translator repeats the question in English. And he answers in Japanese. Just like a total F you, buddy. Like totally like, so Yuki, on turn 6, you hit the the rumble strips pretty hard and you went over the sausages. And did you feel like there was floor damage or anything that affected your position of finishing in less than the top 10 when you're running in the top 7 through basically 50 yards of the race? And then the interpreter just goes, so we want to, and he just goes back in Japanese and he just says it all in Japanese and just sits there with that smug pork pie hat on his fucking head and just like, that's it. That would be amazing. Would be amazing.
This is getting Kaufman-esque.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's just a weird translator situation.
Yes, exactly. Or better. Oh, better. The translator actually only knows sign language.
Okay.
And then signs it to Yuki, who basically answers, I have no idea what the fuck you just signed me. Next question. It's like fuck you. But also, well, Yuki got his grid penalty too for blocking the sling blade in qualifying. I
guess what was the expectation there, that he was supposed to go off the racing line and slow way down, even though Valtteri was not actually close to him?
Well, no, because he was not even up to speed. He knew Valtteri was coming on a hot lap, and he should have vacated the racing line. That's actually what he should have done. That's why they gave it to him, because he was literally on the racing line, not on a hot lap, and slowing down, which is what you're not supposed to do. And he knew damn well Valtteri was coming. But on the, also, some of that is, it's like, well, it's a short track, and this is what happens when you got all these damn people on the fucking racetrack. I mean, do you expect all these drivers all the time to be fully aware and then go and not only like doing their thing and, okay, hey, I'm doing a cool down lap, switch this, switch that, switch that. And the radio comes on saying, hey, Valtteri's coming up on a hot lap, just beware.
Okay, I don't know if he got that radio communication. He probably realized that he was too close when he didn't have any more. He couldn't get out of the way at that point. And the after turn 4 is a really, really poor place to get out of someone's way. You're going to slow them down if you're anywhere in front of them and like going slower than them. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I guess you can, I guess you can give him the grid penalty for it, but I don't particularly see the use, because it looks like he just wasn't sure if he was going to be close enough or not. He realized that he was past the place that he should have gotten out of the way. After was no good to get out of the way. So anything that he did at that point was gonna impede Valtteri.
Right. So. Yeah. But also they're enforcing the crap out of that. So it's going to happen no matter what. Even if you look at it and you go, well, what more could you have done? They're still going to give you a penalty because they want to send that message across, but also not just that. What makes it funny to me, and I'm not accusing Lewis of saying this, but lately a lot of the drivers, or some of the drivers, been complaining about the gentleman's agreement that we don't pass each other whilst we're trying to get little 5-second breaks,
corner.
Yeah. And all that stuff, for qualifying, like, oh, we don't really want to pass each other, so we all have the breaks. And then Lewis fucking like, fuck off.
That's how all the best F1 drivers of all time, all of them are amazing at mind games. They will make you think that they're going to play ball with you, and then they will just do their own thing at the last possible moment.
I mean, and honestly, Lewis hasn't really said anything about the gentleman's agreement saying, hey, this shit. So I'm not saying, he said all this shit and then did it. I just like the fact that.
Yeah, but that's gotten him into trouble in the past.
Yes,
remember a couple years ago at Monza, they didn't get a lap. They didn't get a lap in. Yeah. They didn't get the final lap in Q3. That's no good.
This is what it is, but it brings up something, or, do you look at a IndyCar type of qualifying to where you send them out in bunches? And no, I'm going to say that right now. No, because I enjoy the qualifying format of F1. I do. I've always enjoyed it. I am a firm believer in all the competitors go out there in Q1 and the best time wins. That's how it works. And part of being a race car driver is dealing with bullshit like traffic. Yeah. And dealing with that stuff. That's what F1 deals with. They, that's what it is. F1 is never been about like raw speed, or any of that. It's really about strategy. It's really about track position. It's really about maintaining it and doing what you're supposed to do correctly, pit stopping, tire choices, all those things is what it comes into. So to me, that's just another aspect of F1 is, hey, we're going to go qualify right now. So if the car, if it's a 24 car field, 24 cars will be on that goddamn track for Q1. And we will take the top 15 or the top fucking 18, whatever the fuck it's going to be based on how many cars are there.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And that's the whole point is you need to find that track position. You need to find the little breaks and all those things like that. And then the FIA is responsible to sit there and say, well, you guys can't really back each other up like this. This is fucking bullshit. So we all know it's crap. So deal with it. If you're going to run into dirty air, you can run into fucking dirty air. Fuck off. Have a nice day. So I'm okay with it. I think it was funny that Lewis just passed everybody up. I'm like, yeah, go. That's how it goes. And of course he should. Of course he should. Gentlemen's agreements are basically what's not a nice way of saying the gentleman agreement is basically this is knowing that you're going to fuck your friend over, but casually on the side saying, I would never fuck you over.
Well, it's like that was the German Russian, the German and Soviet,
yes, the non-aggression pact.
Yeah. Aggression pact. It's like the name of the pact.
It's literally
we'll slice up Poland together. It'll be fine.
Tell you what we're gonna do here.
I'll never attack you for your oil.
You don't attack me. I won't attack you. We'll split Poland, and then I'll attack you 8 months later. How's that? Sounds good to me. I'm signing right now because I'm trying to attack your ass in 18 months.
As soon as I get this whole continental Europe thing locked down, which I think I'm gonna do. We're going to attack you. But for now, we slice up Poland. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why,
because I ain't got no fucking oil and as much manufacturing base and everything as I have. If I ain't got no fucking oil to run it, then I'm up shit's creek.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just find it amusing sometimes that they kind of get a little, I would get annoyed by it, especially when it's like, hey, we all kind of agree to this. And then, sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to strip my frustration about it. But sometimes they complain. I
didn't see the interviews.
They really were horrible.
Was there some salt going around? I didn't see the
not
interviews.
Real salt. It's more like, we got to respect the gentleman's agreement and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I'm not respecting shit because you all do the same thing to each other. You're just pissed because it fucked you that time. But the moment you can fuck the other person, you're going to do it. Yeah. Not one of them is going to sit there. I mean, not one. I do not see Max going, here I am. And it's the Austrian Grand Prix. It's Q2. And I need to qualify on fucking medium tires. And Lewis has already qualified. He's up there and my times are kind of low, blah, blah, blah. What am I going to do? Oh no, look, I have like 3 cars in front of me and there's great clear air if I get by these 3 cars. Well, there's a gentleman's agreement and I shall abide by that and won't pass these 3 cars to ensure the fact that I can run and start the race on medium compound tires, which is the best tire for me to win on this and secure a world championship because a gentleman's agreement said. No, he's going to sit there and go, fuck these bastards. Boop, 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 boop. And he is.
Fuck it, mate.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
Fuck it, mate. I'm out.
Every single time. And any of them that bring it up and say, well, we have a gentleman's agreement, the moment it's advantageous to them, they're going to fuck the other person. So fuck it. If it's not causing a major life-threatening incident, then get over it. That's how it's going to be. Sorry. That's why I get really annoyed at gentlemen's agreements.
Yeah, I don't know why we need to enter into him
No.
necessarily. Let's just do whatever. Let's just do what's best for all of us. But of course, somebody gets pissed off that they were like that they get passed at the wrong time.
Right. And then you have the gentleman's agreement complaint. Like, well, we all as drivers want to be gentlemen. No,
they're paid professionals. Gentlemen drivers are racing GT3 cars at the Nürburgring.
Right. And that's where you need to go. Because even then they look at the gentleman's agreement and go, hey, can I fuck this guy over real quick? Yeah, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, great.
And that's how it's going to be, because that's racing. Because it doesn't harm anybody. It may fuck somebody over because it kind of takes away their clean air. Okay, well, that's how that worked out. And next time you can screw the other person over. It happens all the time. It happens all the time with teammates, which is like, I'll tow you, you tow me. Fuck you. No. That's just, Lewis has done that.
It's always good.
Lewis has done that at Spa many times. Of like, oh, thanks for that tow, Valtteri. Well, it's your turn. Fuck you, dude.
No, I let off the throttle. Yes. I actually put on the brake.
Yes.
Goodbye.
See you, fuckface. I mean, seriously. Was it Spa or was it Monza? One of those times when
one of those tracks where they need the tow to be. They're actually in a modern Formula One car. They actually get faster.
They get really good tow. They get a great tow. I think it was Monza where Valtteri went out, towed Lewis, and then they went in, and then Lewis was to come out first. And then do it again, and he didn't come out. They sent Valtteri, and how they sent Valtteri out, and he comes, and Lewis ain't out there because he's just like, "What the fuck?" And he gets on the radio, and goes, we'll talk about it later." Which is basically Lewis saying, "I ain't towing that bastard. Fuck that guy. He stole my biscuits."
Dude, he knows all too well, man. Remember Fernando at McLaren? He knows. Yes. Lewis knows all too well to play the oh, my car's not working.
That car's not working.
Oh, I don't know. It won't do the thing. I don't know. Can you reset it real quick?
Yeah, because the Spa conversation was, it's like, I don't know what happened, Valtteri. I mean, I was telling you, and this happened. Yeah, you hit the brake pedal, bitch. That's what.
Oh, whoops! My foot was on the biscuit pedal. I forgot.
I hit biscuit, not mustard. Sorry, Valtteri.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mustard. Go biscuit. Stop. I forgot. So
that's great.
Good to see our little fisherman in his pork pie hat, Yuki Tsunoda, picking up some points. First one since Bahrain. The kid's got potential. We know he can do well. He just needs to get down to it.
He needs to listen to Marko.
What is Helmut Marko telling him?
Well,
was he giving him specific coaching?
No, not on the race, but Marko has him on a strict schedule. Like, you get up, you go to gym, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, you go to gym again, you do this, because that's what he needs. He needs that regiment of this is how successful F1 drivers become more successful. Total commitment. And Marko has that ability, and he does. And let's be honest, he really does. Because Pierre Gasly was that way. And Marko said, you need to do all these things. The only difference between Pierre Gasly and Max, honestly, is Max is able to take the next level car, which is a Red Bull, and race it and make it work, make it do what it needs to do, even though it's on the ragged edge. Pierre doesn't have that, so he's more comfortable in the AlphaTauri, but Marko is like, fuck you, do all these things, and these things should happen for you, but I can't give you more talent. The only thing I can give you is the commitment and the strict scheduling and that regiment to get your mind focused on what you need to do with your talent.
Well, we said,
does it all the time.
Like we said last week, the pre-F1 Red Bull talent needs a little bit more time in the oven.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
So I don't think they're going to be in a rush to throw Dan Ticktum in Yuki Tsunoda's seat. I don't see it happening.
No, not at all. I don't see them ever going to Dan Ticktum at all.
Well, it's possible that they don't. That guy's just that hated.
Yes.
but anyway,
I mean, I hate him.
Anyway, I think that they stick with Sonoda. Let him get in his element. He's I don't know if he'll get there with the experience, but he probably has more raw pace than what's his name's I was gonna say Kaffiet and
yes. Oh yes.
And whoever else.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I don't know about Gasly. Gasly's pretty sharp these days.
Gasly's sharp. I mean, basically, yeah. I'm not saying, Yuki is exactly what AlphaTauri needs. It's exactly what they need.
Some young talent
in there. Up. Right. But
kid with a personality that people like.
Yes. Yeah. He doesn't smile. And Wes Poor has this is get me out of this boat with this French guy.
No, just when you set him up in photo shoots, he's a happy guy. Like I said, he's like Pikachu. He's very cute, but just don't mess with him because he'll fight you.
I mean, because basically he just was sitting in that boat, just going, just saying. I watched the first Godzilla movie, and there was a bunch of people on a boat, and that big old lizard came out and sank it. So fucking get me off this thing. I ain't dealing with this. But I think Yuki is what they need, and he has a lot of talent. And he does. That's the whole thing is if he listens to Marko and Marko's advice and what Marko wants him to do to commit himself to what it takes to be on this level, then he's got to get better position, finishing position than 10th. He's got to qualify better, all those things. And that's where he needs to be. And I do believe he's taking it seriously because they basically, as I said, we brought it up last time, but they did tell him you're moving to Italy. So fucking move now. And he did. Because he did, because they wanted him there.
Where was he?
I think he was in fucking Monaco or fucking somewhere. But they said no, you're moving right by the factory because we need you here, and this is what you need to do, and he did it, so he takes it seriously.
Well, good. Well, it's good to see him get some direct, results. After, one race after.
It's also good to have a Japanese driver in F1 again, and it is.
I know. I literally said it out loud to myself during the race. Yeah. I was like, come on, Yuki. We need a Japanese driver in F1.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. And we need one in that is able in maybe 2-3 years from now, go up to the top team.
He's
Red Bull.
Yeah. And he's he's got the raw talent.
Yes.
As I said. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
you. No. Go ahead.
And there's plenty of other Japanese drivers that have been through F1 that were, really promising. What happened to who I immediately comes to mind is Nakajima. What was his situation back in the day? Can you remember? Back in the 2010, 2012 kind of season, era.
Yeah. So I mean,
he was driving for Toyota, right?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, he was active from 07 to 09.
Oh, okay.
And he was with the Williams team, which had the Toyota engines.
Oh, okay.
And he did 36 starts. But I'm just going to find out what happened to him in Formula One. So
I guess his Toyota teammate, Kobayashi, might have been the more decorated F1 driver. And I don't know. Those guys are both brilliant at their own times, but yeah, I guess, maybe Kobayashi is the better raw talent there, but, and he was in there for a few years. This is just when I was not really watching too heavily. So,
right. So basically what happened to him in the 2010 season, Williams signed Rubens Barrichello and Nico Hulkenberg. And that left Nakajima without a seat. But the interesting thing, in January, reports had Nakajima to team Stefan GP, which Consolidated remains a Toyota F1 team after Japanese management withdraw. And then basically, blah, blah, blah. They didn't have an entry. So they didn't have an entry for 2010. And the FIA basically said, well, you can't be entered in the season at such a late stage. So Nakajima was left no drive for Formula 1 in 2020. 10. So he went to Formula Nippon, Super Formula.
Yep.
Which he excelled in.
Right.
And then the FIA Endurance Championship.
And Kobayashi has a podium.
Yes.
At least I'm trying to, I can't see all the stats here, but they use the word maiden podium in Formula One, third place at the Japanese Grand Prix. And wow. 2012. So that's cool. I guess I didn't realize that, but
yeah.
Anyway, interesting little aside there. Okay. I wanted to talk about how awful it is that, look, I saw Max slow down and do that burnout, and I was excited. That gets me going. Turning rubber into smoke in a race car in front of your team. And I'm glad that they didn't like fine him or like seriously,
they just
seriously punish him, but they did. They reprimanded him. Look, I'm sorry, but this is a perfect example of why IMSA and IndyCar are more entertaining, because they're run by Americans, and Americans know entertainment.
They don't care about driver safety. There's a bunch of cars crossing a finish line to let somebody do that.
What is unsafe about doing a little burnout when you got plenty of room to the next car? I understand you shouldn't be doing it when guys are racing for position 1 and 2 seconds behind you. I'm not saying that, but he had the room. I guess they've had incidents before.
Yes. And so that's why they're very like,
but not in Formula One, maybe at least not for a long time.
Well, I mean, Formula One has their safety rules, and they want them to be adhered to.
Run by boring Europeans who know nothing of entertainment.
Well, I don't know. It depends on that, because Europeans are not boring. If you want entertainment, I mean, they've had many entertaining wars.
I'm sorry. Where's Hollywood? Yeah, they've had entertaining wars. But who do we learn? Who gives those to us? First and foremost, Dan Carlin. Second, Hollywood. And where's Hollywood? America. For now, California hasn't seceded, but
I understand why they did it.
I hate your takes,
and
today.
I do.
That this
I do understand it. I understand why they fucking did it, and they're not saying he can't do it. They just don't want him. They don't want any driver to do burnouts right after they win the race, when there's still a bunch of cars racing for positions that come down the fucking finish line, and say one of those cars runs into the gearbox, like spears off, and there's Max doing a massive fucking burnout. You know what they need to do? This is all they need to do. F1 just needs to make this massive grass infield and say, you won, go there, burnout. There it is. Go.
They just fit a little spot of grass on each track.
Nah, they're just a massive one, just this huge ass bullshit grass thing, and go there. And then standing in there is some retired NASCAR driver that say, do it this way. Do it there. No, hippity, do it this way. Get out of that car. I'll show you down.
It's Darrell Wallace, dude.
Yes. I mean, Darrell Waltrip or something. Just
Darrell Waltrip, excuse me.
Or Dale Jarrett. Darrell Waltrip and Dale Jarrett. It'd be fucking amazing. And they're just there. And they got headphones on. They go, okay. All right, now you see that gas pedal there, boy? All right, now. There you go. There you go, Max. Now. There it is. You go. Give it a horse. Go. Do it. Yeah. You go. You're done.
I want to see Mark Martin specifically, because I believe that he would be able to actually leap the F1 car. I think he's still that athletic, Mark Martin. He's a little guy too, It doesn't take much for him to like really get up in the air.
Honestly, I think part of their problem is that he basically came to a stop when the race was officially still on. I think that's what pissed them off.
Is that frowned upon? That's what I do in iRacing.
I guess
I try to lock the brakes across the line and then stop as soon as I can and quit.
I mean, so I get where they are coming from. Okay, but also on the flip side of that, they also understand that Max is very excited, because Max sees something this year that he knows if he keeps it up, he's going to get a world championship, which I firmly believe he is, because I firmly believe
at this point it's hard to deny that car is just it's amazing.
And the driver has it. It's literally, it is actually literally like watching Lewis at McLaren and realizing, holy shit, this guy's going to win many world championships. But, you know, a lot of people said that about Max. They say, oh, hey, Max has a great future, even though he's in a Red Bull and he hasn't won anything. You know what? Yeah, people say that shit about drivers when they're in cars and it never materializes. This year, when Max was where he came out to, actually, I will say this, last year, the maturity level that Max showed and his concentration and is not losing his temper so much and not getting pissed off or yelling. And literally, even when he was mad and he would say, okay, well, I'm ignoring your advice. I'm just going to burn the tires up and go for it. Cause that's the only thing I see in my position right now in this car is I need to burn up tires to go after, you know, he didn't say it like he said it, you know, 2 years ago where he's just like yelling at them saying, fuck you and fuck I'm going to do. He was very, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go do it. And their response was, okay, Max, go. That level of maturity now with the car that can do it. You know, when Max won last week, I knew it. That was the race. And I looked at that race when he was finished and he won. I go, Max is going to be a world champion this year. And he is. Because
that's a good track to measure it on, because that's one that Mercedes, I think, won all the other races. Yes. Maybe I don't think Ferrari ever got one in, or Red Bull got one in there since it's been reintroduced.
I just look at that shit and I just go, that is, and you know, so I understand, and I think Massey, he understands like Max is just looks because he sees something. That's why they're just like a slap on the wrist saying, don't you ever fucking do that again. I.e., like, follow the regulation. And the regulation says you can celebrate because basically the cars are on cooldown laps and there's not a bunch of speed idiots coming and you can go do your bullshit, you know, because it is stopping right at the fucking start finish line. I mean, that kind of doesn't bode well.
You actually reminded me of something I've forgotten about up until just now. I was reprimanded on the radio by the head steward at iRacing, who I was racing, for doing burnouts just after the finish line on the Nordschleife.
Really?
So if you know where that's, if you ever raced that in a sim, you know where that start finish line is.
Yes.
There's kind of that. Oh, by the way, that's the Sabine Schmitz corner. Did you know that? The turn one of the Nordschleife is that just came out a couple weeks ago. I don't think we talked about it, but that turn, which is great. I actually like that corner.
That's
it's a slow one, but it's fun because I have all these memories of racing it in iRacing and, you know, diving down the inside and people yell at you, but you come out all right. Anyway, we were racing the Radical SR8s, and it's kind of, the point is that it's kind of over a crest, so you can't really see if somebody's stopped. And there's not that many places on the Nordschleife that's wide enough to do donuts. So I won the race and I did them right there. And I beat the head steward of iRacing, Nim Cross. And I think he was in third, and he was like, can you not do that? Can you not do donuts right after the finish line? And I was like, sorry, I don't think there was any other place to do them on the track. That guy's funny because people don't realize that, like, you can't, there's no foul language allowed on iRacing. So people will be like, what the fuck? What the shit? Fucking idiot on. And then he'll mute them. It'll just say there's an admin message at the top and there's like a certain color that it is. And it just said an admin is muted. So
that's great.
That's really funny. So
that is great.
Did you have any other anything else on the?
No, that's it.
Austria GP number 1.
No, actually, no.
Next week is number 2. Hopefully
for the 2, and Max will get back to back.
Mercedes is practicing the rain. They're practicing the rain dance out there.
Yes,
I would love to see. I mean, I would love to see it. Let's be honest.
I'd like to see it.
Lewis versus Max, just in the rain, to just wheel to wheel would be amazing. I want to see them do those lap times like I was doing in the LMP2 this week in the dry. 1:20 about a minute 20, minute 21. So
yeah, honestly,
I'll be you'll find me on a mountain doing the rain dance with Mercedes.
Yep, there you go. Perfect. Do it.
So
yep. All right. Go back.